This is hashtag Real Race Talk from Texas, the Revved Up Sports Show on RevvedUpSportsShow.com and HornFM.com. Here's Bobby Chaffee and Rodney Rodriguez.
Indeed, this is the Revved Up Sports Show, rocking and rolling, seeking and destroying another Race Week edition, Houston Motorsports Park. That's right, all right.
That's back when Metallica was
a real rock band.
Where they got hip.
Showtime, Bobby Chaffee right here.
That
man right back over there who's multitasking a whole hell of a lot better than I am.
That is
the Iceman, Rodney Rodriguez.
How's your Monday? How's your first day of fall? It feels like dadgum summer to me. I can tell you that.
Didn't change a thing, did it?
No.
It just completely feels identically the same as it did yesterday.
Just like it did. And but fall is here, and football's in the air, so that's a good thing. That's that's a sure sign of fall. Racing season's starting to wind down, I guess. I was thinking about that yesterday, Bobby. We crowned an IndyCar champion yesterday, Joseph Newgarden. And I'm thinking, racing season's winding down, but NASCAR has a hell of a long way to go.
They got a lot. They have a lot of stuff left, and still 9. I guess now make that 7 weeks to go.
Yeah.
Counting one of our favorite races of the year, the Roval, the Charlotte Roval, Bank of America 400.
This will be a good one.
If it lives up to the hype, I don't know if we're going to get exactly the whack'em sack'em finish that we had before. Mm-hmm. Or is it rock'em sock'em? Dear God, It is Monday.
Yep.
I don't know if we're going to get that again, but just because it's something so different, I think that it just adds a total element of pretty kick-assness.
Yeah, I agree.
That it's so different. And it's so neat, and especially us from Texas, the old Texas Race of Champions over at Texas World Speedway.
Yeah, all that good stuff.
Damn near laid out almost the same, ain't it?
Yeah, pretty good stuff. Last year, a really good race. And, speaking of rock'em sock'em, of course, Texas beats Oklahoma State Saturday. Mike Gundy laid into a reporter today.
Oh, did I send that to you?
No.
Okay.
I saw that, but... we're marking.
This is great.
Actually, on this day, to the day was this.
That's why I don't read the newspaper, because it's garbage, and the editor that let it come out is garbage. Attacking an amateur athlete for doing everything right, and then you want to write articles about guys that don't do things right and downgrade them, the ones that do make plays. Are you kidding me? Where are we at in society today? Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40. I'm not a kid. Write something about me.
There it was, way back when. Now he's got a mullet. That was back in 2007 on this day.
On this day. Did you hear the one for today? Did you hear the one for today?
I heard it. I heard it.
Yes. That was outstanding.
Don't ask the wrong question to a man that just lost a football game. And a very damn good football coach at the same time.
And a very probably personally good friend of his in T. Pickens.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, ask that question. And the funny thing is, Bobby, I saw that right when it happened. I mean, right when that came out about the gift card and all that, the $30. So if you're not familiar with it, so T. Boone Pickens, heard a funny story about that the other day. They were talking about T. Boone when he started investing all that money there in Oklahoma State. They asked him, well, it's called such and such stadium. Will you call it that still? He said, no, it's mine. I bought it. So, supposedly the word got out that T. Boone had left a $30 Supercuts, which I went to today, gift card for the mullet there, and he let him have it. Mm-hmm. He let him have it. But
it's good. It's actually posted on my Twitter page, the @BobbyChaffee one. We'll look at getting it posted. I don't think I posted that one up on the show page. I don't think today.
And that's a scenario with. I mean, watch what you say. I mean,
it was great. I mean, and Gundy was totally justified in what he did.
We talk about social media all the time, and reporters ask things, and I mean, be prepared. Be prepared for the answer you're going to get. Had that been a win, had they been able to beat Texas, maybe you get a little bit. But I mean, you should know better than to ask him that.
Unless you're really good buddies, like But you don't ask that question in a loss,
right? Not like, after that.
Yeah, I mean that's like
no. Yeah, that was totally stupid to come up with that. I mean, ask him that leading up to the game. I mean, maybe you get a little bit. Tom Herman, they ask him some stupid things, and he kind of plays it off. But they ask him usually leading up to the ball game. Don't do it after.
Yeah, no, I mean we'll make sure we get a cut of it, and it's really good.
Yeah, don't piss off the coach. Don't piss off the coach. But, good game there. And, again, we want to send out our thoughts, all the folks over in the Beaumont area out there in southeast Texas. Just, again, it seems like, unfortunately, just with that part of the country, you're in that unfortunate area where when these things happen, you get – and this was blindsided, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't have a lot of warning to see this coming. And our thoughts, our man Shane and the bunch, as they were – making their way down there, they were posting pictures, and man, that's
pretty bad.
Devastating.
Yeah,
devastating. A lot of those places not recovered yet from the last time around.
Mm-hmm. Especially down there, that one road. When we went to the Derby last year, they were just barely trying to sit there and rebuild it. So.
Yeah, I know. Right there on that path, I-10. But coming up at 7 o'clock, the King, Bubba Pollard, will join us once again. He had an interesting day.
He sure did, and we didn't know that yesterday.
That was no clue. I fired off a text, and he's like, "Yep," and I'll be damned.
Maybe he knew.
Maybe he did. He said, "Let them good old boys talk to me about it."
I got some good questions lined up.
He said, "I know they're going to have beer. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it then." And then after that, probably 7:30, 7:35, something like that, we'll have Gina Schild-Knowles. We'll check in and we'll talk to her about Houston coming up and. Busy race weekend, Cotton Bowl doing their thing out there, I-37 doing their thing. If you're on the chat there, let us know where you were and what your thoughts were of where you were.
Yeah.
For crying out loud, because neither one of us were at a track. We were busy with other things.
That's right.
Other
prior commitments that somehow just kind of snuck up on race
prior
day.
Commitments that just keep piling on and on and on. But Martin Truex wins again at Richmond. Your thoughts on that race?
I thought it was better than what some of the statistical stuff showed. Realistically, I mean, it was another one of those typical, kind of longer green flag runs, which didn't show a lot of passing, but it really actually had a lot of good action, I thought.
Yeah.
From what some of the stuff that I got to see there. I liked the once again restarts are king. They were golden, but all in all, I think for Richmond, I think it was good. I mean, I give it a solid B. I mean, it's not necessarily the greatest race I've seen of the season, but I still think on the short tracks and stuff, I still think they need to give these guys a little bit more horsepower.
Yeah.
But, it was good. I'm still looking. I think that it got justice this year because last year, everybody kind of skipped Richmond. Everybody was completely thinking about the Roval.
Mm-hmm. I can see those Gibbs guys. I can see, obviously, Kyle Busch. Better mood this week.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Denny Hamlin. Eric Jones is a whole different story.
Hamlin was very quiet.
Yeah.
Nothing spectacular, but ran top 5 almost all night.
Yeah. I would think that Truex came back through after the little stunt there with Stenhouse, and I don't know what the hell that was. And that was unfortunate for Stenhouse because they just put 4 tires on. I mean, I think they were in a really good spot there. But after that happened, that 19 car comes back up, and
that's what happens. You have a big ass lead and can spin out and end up in
only
third.
Only got passed by 2 cars for crying out loud. But they have to be scratching their head thinking about what's going on. But I mean, this is Furniture Row in a different car. And
it's all the powers of that made Furniture Row good,
right?
Team member wise, I mean that's pretty much. I would say. We'd have to ask Blake for sure, but I mean, I would say 3/4 of that Furniture Row team came with him to Gibbs.
Just moved. And that's what it is. I mean, these guys, hell, he's pretty good at the Roval. He may sweep the state.
He could. I mean, he was a corner away?
That's it. Some guy backed into him. And
actually, Jimmy Johnson might be pretty damn good this weekend, too.
I kind of have him as my sleeper, as always. I'll tell you, it's like people ask, who's your sleeper? Never mind.
I mean, he didn't have as much to say at Richmond.
Top 10 run, for him. So he's, hell, that's better. It's better. Ryan Newman is the guy.
That was surprising.
Man, he's getting a lot out of that. The whole team, they're getting a lot out of that car. It was a hell of a run.
Hey, here's a question for you. Ever since Kyle Busch came over and became the face of Joe Gibbs Racing and the face of Toyota, is that no longer the case? Like, he used to just always whoop ass over there, always much better than his teammates.
Yeah.
And now he's got somebody in literally the exact same equipment that is just starting to run circles around him. Do you think that affects the mojo over at Joe Gibbs?
Absolutely. I would love to be in that team meeting on a Monday for him asking, why is this happening? Why is this guy able to do what he's doing? And I would hope that somebody's explaining what we're talking about. I mean, if you look at Cole Pern and all of that bunch and Blake Harrison and all of those guys, they have been really good for a long time with not near the resources that they have now. Mm-hmm. And the unfortunate thing for them is, I mean, they're probably making the other teams better because they're having to share that information, but they ain't sharing all of it.
But is he peaking too soon?
Truex?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. That's something that I wonder, but there's no signs of Harvick's still sitting there lurking. Man.
I don't see him getting taken out like Logano did when he swept that middle round a couple of years ago, got taken out of Martinsville.
Yeah, it's funny. Harvick is still the one that I go back to that he's just kind of sitting there right about now, and he's watching all of this, and he's quiet. He's quiet. I feel bad for Eric Jones. I mean, Eric Jones is a guy that I had penciled in early season that he would be a contender, and they were consistent. They finally get that win. But that DQ, that's one we talked about. The what was it called? The cucumbered Joey Logano
cucumbered finish,
and that was the end of that team for the longest time. And I hope that doesn't happen with the 20 because Eric Jones cannot have that happening right about now.
Well,
he's got a new contract, but
you never know. That DQ might put him in at 95.
Yeah, it just might. It just might. And we're still waiting on the official word of that to come out, as Bob Levine keeps telling people on Twitter. And he was kind of, I called out the fans on the Saturday show about that. So I'm like, leave him alone.
Yeah.
I mean, it's done. It's done. And here's the whole part of what really pisses me off about that whole thing is we knew this was going to happen. We knew this was going to happen. We've known this
the best case scenario was that Matty D would end up in a second LFR car.
Yeah, and Matt's going to be all right. Matt is going to be all right.
He's in a fourth Penske car.
He's in a fourth Penske car, which Penske's got to get a little more consistent.
I was kind of surprised about that.
Yeah. Penske, I heard folks talking about back to college football, talking about Michigan trying to find their identity other than getting their ass whooped this week.
Again.
Penske needs to find their identity because they're just not consistent. But again, Bobby, you can listen to all the archives at RevvedUpSportsShow.com. We talked at length last year about how good they were with those old cars, and now it's coming back around. It's coming back around. The Toyota's better right now. We're still waiting for Chevrolet, even though William Byron, I guess he had a little bit of a dust up there.
He sure did.
Oh man, I tell you, this is getting pretty exciting.
It's that time of year. Good. Like it's good.
Yeah. So we've got who's bottom four? The 20. I don't know if the 20. That's 45 points. I think is what he has to make up.
It's win or go home.
Win or go home. Kurt Busch is there. Clint Boyer, and the 88 car. Who's
right up above him? That would be the thing to see.
The 24. 24 is right above him, and then right above the 24 is the 10, which I think the 10 is going to be the one that may get left out. Almirola, I think, may get left.
Yeah.
That team has just been very baseline, it seems like.
Kurt Busch, I still think, is the strongest one of the four.
Mm-hmm.
Because if he doesn't crash at Vegas and blow that tire and finish 37th or whatever it was, he's still right up in the points.
Right.
Plus, he's got a couple of stage win and has the bonus points. So I think if they can just survive, right, just survive this one round right here and be able to just get through to the next round, right? Dover's not a strong track for them, but I also think that he just needs to survive because I think they have the ability to get into the round of 8.
I think so too. And this Roval, I mean, with the Roval being the third race coming up here in stage 1, it's Katie bar the door now. I mean, because obviously you got one notebook to go back on and a couple of tests, and obviously we know who the players are. It's going to be Truex, and
it's the same. Some of the same people.
Yeah, it's the same guys. No matter how you spin it, you're going to have those guys in. But I keep going back to, and I really wonder. I'm going to go back to Newman. Because I really wonder if this dude's not going to sneak up in that round of 4 and steal a race.
Well, I mean, look what he did that time at Childress.
I know. That dude comes in and steals a race, and how great would that be? So if Newman does that, does he say, "Hey, championship, I'm done. I'm gone"? Hell no, not that dude.
No, I don't think so. I don't see it. But if you really think about it, the next two races on the schedule are probably two of the most pivotal races of the entire season. Not just because they're playoff races,
Yep.
but because you got the Roval, which in its own self. But if you get sideways at the Roval,
Yeah,
think about what you have to do. Look at all that momentum you lose at Dover.
exactly.
And then you have the big question coming up after that at Talladega.
Yeah, and that's
Because, if you start on this wrong side of momentum, we've had that discussion before on the Saturday show and this show about whether or not we believe in momentum because there's too many moving parts in race cars.
Yes.
But, if you stub your toe at the Roval,
yeah,
and you end up, granted, it resets at Dover, but you stub your toe at the Roval, no momentum, you stub your toe at Dover,
yeah.
you in trouble when you get into Talladega.
Yeah, so say it all the time. All you son of a guns that are racers or used to race it or watching this, you can or listening, you can understand that as you're going, when you're consistent, when you're doing well, when you're clicking those top fives off, I mean, you're feeling really, really good. You come out and run a race and finish 20th. I mean, that's a real.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a lot.
Yeah, it takes you. The mindset just totally goes away, and you're rethinking everything that you were doing. What seemed really, really easy gets really difficult, and you start questioning your ability and what you're doing and your team, and that all these teams have a lot of resources to do what they do, but momentum is huge, 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 huge. Truex has it, but you asked the key question: is it too much too soon? But this team was kind of just floating along the radar there for a while. So maybe they have hit that point that they found something, because they're just out. They're whipping everybody's ass right now.
Well, if he wins at the Roval, hell, he could go 4 straight because he won.
Yeah.
He won the spring race at Dover.
Right. And the last thing you want if you're watching these teams, you've got a sizzling hot Martin Truex and Cole Pern coming in here and just blowing these down. And there's not particularly a track in this chase that has presented them a problem.
And making it look easy.
Really easy. But do you realize that in his 25 wins, this is his 25th win, was Saturday night. It's the only time he's gone back-to-back.
I know, it's crazy.
Isn't that weird? But remember, this guy, and this is where you feel good for him, he had a really long losing streak in that. Then they had the whole thing with MWR. This guy deserves what he's getting.
I think he deserves it to a certain extent, but he's the one guy that when he whoops everybody's ass, you don't care. Like it doesn't bother you, right?
Yeah.
I think some people were upset because he drives a Toyota, but think about it.
Get over that.
When he lit up everybody at the 600, led 392 of 400 laps.
Yeah.
Nobody cared. It was a boring race as hell. The next year Kyle Busch did it. Everybody said how horrible that race was.
Yeah. Quick thing about Toyotas. So let me tell you this. I know folks have a problem with them. I drive them, but
A new one, too.
a new one now. But let me tell you something. Those things, I sent a kid to college, sent her a Toyota, old one of mine. Get a call Friday night, and for folks that were asking on Twitter what the hell I was talking about, being grateful and blah, 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 blah. She took a front-end shot in that car, walked away unscathed. I haven't seen the car. I've seen pictures of it, but they build them damn things pretty safe. Mm-hmm. Pretty damn safe. So, take all the foreign, whatever. They ain't foreign. They ain't foreign.
If you go up the road about 4 hours from here, I guess actually since we're in North Austin, if you go up the road about 3 hours from here, there is a big, gigantic campus that is, TRD's world headquarters now is right up in the Metroplex.
Yeah.
Multi-million, hundreds of millions of dollars worth of investment in Texas from Toyota. Guess what? That's not a foreign entity anymore.
Yeah, get over that crap. I know it's not the Chevrolet, the Ford.
And what's funny, a lot of the people that complain about Toyota live in San Antonio where they build the Tundra.
Hell, half of them drive them. But whatever.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Whatever. But yes. So thanks for the folks that asked about that. That's what that was. But Charles Buxton here, one of our loyal watchers and listeners, also on the Saturday show, that he's talking about what I said, man. I think Harvick, even after his post-race interview, calm, cool, and collected. Yeah, I think he's just waiting.
They're just waiting to show their card, right?
Yeah, I think so. There's no need to do it right now. He has enough playoff points. He has everything he needs to just keep advancing. for Harvick and Truex and Kyle Busch and all of this, the crap doesn't get real until the final 8.
It really doesn't, because
yeah.
you really got to think about it. There's no way you can tell me that between, Texas, Martinsville, and Phoenix, that one of those 4 guys between Harvick, Busch, or Kyle Busch, I guess,
Yeah.
Truex, and Denny Hamlin, that one of those 4 guys is not going to win one of those 3 races.
Right. I mean, the whole thing about the 3, what was it called?
The big 3?
The big 3. You haven't heard that very much. Look at the points.
That's right.
There they are.
Same ones.
There they are.
Denny Hamlin's up there.
Yeah. It's the same guys. It's the same guys. And, the cream rises to the top. It's a wore-out saying, but that's
because what happens is you got to figure out that Truex and Kyle Busch should be shoe-ins to Miami because of the bonus points, right? Where that becomes an issue when you put the battle between Denny Hamlin and Kevin Harvick right there, because Logano would be in there, but he's just not having any consistency.
Right.
If you get a surprise winner at Martinsville, Phoenix, or Texas, then you realize that only one more guy is going to get in on points.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's where you would put Harvick and Hamlin together to kind of see who's going to be that odd man out. Because if you get a Brad Keselowski that dominates at Martinsville again, like he did earlier in the season, I mean, there you go. So you'll have Kyle Busch, you'll have Truex on points, then you'll have Keselowski with a win, and so then you got to go with your 4th guy, which would probably more than likely be Hamlin or Harvick.
Yeah. I mean, think about it now. If you did the 8 right now, and I wrote them down, you got Truex, Harvick, Busch, Keselowski, Hamlin, Logano, Chase Elliott, and Kyle Larson. That's your
the 2 that are forgotten.
That's right. That's your 8 right now. And oh, by the way, lurking right outside in number 9 is car 6. So, if Larson could catch fire at some point, not stub his toe like the guy ahead of him, like Chase. Mm-hmm. Chase has had bad luck. I think Larson puts himself in spots because he's so damn aggressive, and you can't fault the guy for that. Mm-hmm. I think there's times that Chase puts himself in spots because he not overthinks, but he's maybe not aggressive enough. Mm-hmm. But I mean that's your guys right there. Then you got Blaney and Almirola, and I don't see either one of them being a factor.
They might get to 8, but I mean after that,
if they do, I think one of them is sneaking in. But I mean it's 3-horse race, maybe 4. Keselowski's a guy that I'd love to see in the Final 4 with the big 3, because he don't give a damn.
Oh, he doesn't, and he'll take chances.
Yeah, he will. I mean, he'll go.
I mean, the intensity's going to pick up. This will be a total. When we get to Kansas in 3 weeks, I guess not 4 weeks technically. When we get to Kansas in 4 weeks, this whole thing is going to be turned upside down with Talladega.
Absolutely. This thing is wide open. It's wide open, and when all of that starts happening, some of these guys have the cushion of the playoff points and so forth. But that's one bad race, then you're in trouble, and that's when we could have a major player fall out of this thing, and a guy like Newman sneaks in there. Hey, but I'd love to see it.
Newman could win at Talladega. Of course, so could anybody.
Yeah. So I don't know. IndyCar. Joseph Newgarden wins that. Boy, and he was wasn't the easiest for him to do.
He was pinching the seat. He was getting a little tight, but I mean, you still had 35 points at one point. So.
Yeah, he was good. Colton Herta backs up the win here at COTA as he wins, and pretty good little driver right there. Pretty good little driver. He
just looks like a little California kid, doesn't he?
Kind of does, doesn't he?
Yeah, just that little, hey man, like a Sean Penn back in what is the?
Oh yeah, that was.
Oh God, what was that movie?
Oh yeah, that was somebody here watching. Steve Sims watching. He knows what that was.
Yeah, where he's the surfer guy.
Yeah, Spicoli. That was. I can't remember what that was. But
so is it Summer School?
No, that was with Mark Harmon and what's her name. What was that? No, that wasn't American Graffiti. That's way back when. What was that?
Damn.
That was
where Sean Penn was the surfer guy, right?
What was that? Somebody tell us. Hit us up there or info at Revved Up Sports.
Fast Times at Ridgemont.
Fast Times at Ridgemont. There it is right there.
Yeah,
there it is right there.
We knew somebody would let us know.
Yeah, but he kind of does have that, and Rosenquist. The future is very bright. We had Mike Zizzo on, even though I kept getting the sponsor wrong. We had I did talk to him about that. And he's like, didn't want to correct. He said it's not that big a deal. I'm like,
oh, so you sent him a message
I was like,
apologizing?
it says it's not a big deal to you. I said it's a big deal to me. I said, you have no idea how I dig into these things. He's like, forget about it. Forget it. It's done. It's like 5 messages in. He's like, it's done, man. It's done.
Ziz is a good guy, though.
Worry about the race tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, Ziz is a good guy.
Yeah,
he's
he's a
really
good
good.
dude.
He was good to us at TMS, and then he's gracious with his time now.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, absolutely. But so Newgarden wins that, and it's a good season, good solid season for IndyCar. And there's some stars in there. You've got Alexander Rossi. Folks are totally fascinated with that dude, and Simon Pagenaud is really good, and of course Will Power is solid. I think the future is bright for IndyCar. Finally.
Does Rossi remind you of a Penske guy instead of an Andretti guy?
He really does. And I heard there were rumors at one point that he might make that move over, but he's solid there apparently with Andretti. He's got the Napa backing behind him, which that how all that works. I mean, part of that it all cycles in there together. But he really does have the Penske feel. But you got to love the Newgarden's love for driving for the captain.
Oh yeah,
that was really cool.
A good emotional moment there yesterday.
Yeah.
Breaking
Totally
down, crying, but
ain't nothing wrong with that.
the surprise move so far for IndyCar for me is the fact that Hinchcliffe decided to stay with McLaren and the Chevy deal. So, there has to be something else to that story.
I'm sure there is.
It's called money.
Well, of course.
Yeah,
that always helps. A little bit of that always does a body good.
That's right.
Yeah. So anyway, stick around. As we said, we've got a couple of guests coming up. We're going to talk to Bubba Pollard here in just a few minutes, hopefully, and then we will have Gina Schild-Knowles on the air. We'll talk about Houston coming up. Send us your wherever you went to race this weekend. All of your stuff there. As we said, Bobby and I were kind of tied into other stuff, so we didn't actually get to a racetrack. We weren't really in depth with everything going on this weekend. So give us a know who won, but give us those shout-outs, and we'd be happy to pass those on. Take a break and come back. Stick around. It is the online version of the Revved Up Sports Show on your Monday night. Good times to come. Stick around. Hang out there on Facebook.
Austin 360 Marketing is your one-stop site for all your business marketing needs. With our wide variety of products and services, we have what you need to bring awareness and exposure to your business. We believe marketing should be fun and rewarding for both your business and your customers. We can find the right niche for any business looking to impact their marketing campaign. Whether it be marketing material, online marketing, or direct marketing, we can deliver on any budget. Contact us today for your acrylic signs, banners, window and vehicle vinyl, and more. We are Austin 360 Marketing, 512-913-7693. Find us on the web at austin360marketing.com or email Gino Simmental at geno@a360m.com. Austin 360 Marketing. We'll make you look good.
Bush's Chicken is a proud supporter of area schools, athletic programs, and booster clubs. With stores in Cedar Park, Round Rock, Georgetown, both North and South Austin, and now our newest store in Pflugerville. Bush's serves the Texas standard in real hand-battered fried chicken and crispy tenders, tasty rolls, and that famous Bush's sweet tea.
I love Bush's Chicken.
Bush's Chicken. It's good, good, good. Discount Electronics is Austin and Round Rock's half-price computer store. They have $99 desktop computers, laptops starting at $120, Apple MacBooks from just $195, and LCD monitors starting at just $27. You can sell or trade your used electronics for store credit or cash. They have 3 convenient locations: North Austin, South Austin, and Round Rock. Computer repair is also offered at each location. They're voted the best of Austin year after year, and you can also order online at discountelectronics.com.
Your new best friend may be waiting for you right now at Austin Pets Alive.
We have animals available for adoption. Our 2 locations are open from 11:30 to 7 every day. Our Terrytown facility opens at noon.
That's Lisa Maxwell, Director of Community Engagement for Austin Pets Alive.
All of the animals that are in our programs are not at those 2 locations, but they are all on the website. So if somebody's interested in looking at animals, austinpetsalive.org.
Austin Pets Alive has saved more than 30,000 cats and dogs from euthanasia, and the numbers continue to rise. But thanks they could really use your help.
APA has the largest foster network in the country. When we started, we didn't have a facility, and so all of our animals were living in foster homes, and that is still a huge part of our organization, and we still always need fosters. So if somebody can make space in their home for a dog or a cat, even for a short period of time, that's very helpful.
For information on everything from volunteering to donations to animals for adoption to fostering, visit us online at austinpetsalive.org.
This is #Real Race Talk from Texas, the Revved Up Sports Show on RevvedUpSportsShow.com and HornFM.com. Here's Bobby Chaffee and Rodney Rodriguez.
Oh, there it is. When the fabulous Freebirds come on, Bad Street, Atlanta, GA, that means you know we got somebody from the great state of Georgia joining
Got
us.
a badass.
That's right. One of the badasses in the world of late model racing.
Shit, racing in general, my man.
And a guy that has made a lot of headlines today. So we're joined on the hotline by none other than the man that has really just been kicking everybody's ass, Mr. Bubba Pollard. Bubba, thanks for joining the show. Seems like it's been a pretty good, entertaining day for you right now. Okay, so
there
now,
we go.
I guess I should start over.
Yeah, do it again.
All right, so we'll start over. When we play the fabulous Freebirds, you know that we got a badass from Georgia coming on. We do. Joining us now on the hotline, none other than the guy, as we said, been kicking everybody's ass in late model racing, Mr. Bubba Pollard. Bubba, how is it going, man? You've been making some headlines today for sure.
It's good. I appreciate it. Yeah, we've had a good year going so far. Had a good night the other night. And some cool announcements today, so it worked out good for us.
Man, I got to tell you, Bubba, when I messaged you yesterday, hell, I want to talk about your success over the weekend, but then I see that and I'm like, holy moly, we got this dude on to talk about this. How did this junior motorsports thing come to happen?
Yeah, it was. It actually come together pretty quick. You know, I've always raced with at some of those other series we run. You know, we get to race with Josh and the junior motorsports guys. Quite a bit. Throughout the years in the last couple of years. So we kind of built a relationship there. And, luckily we were able to put something together to allow us to do this Martinsville deal. They knew we were planning on kind of running it. We were working on our own car, and it just wasn't really going to be ready. So it's kind of been an ongoing thing, and they called us up, Dale Jr. and asked me to drive it. So I thought it was cool. It was awesome. Just a great opportunity. So not every day Dale Jr. gets to call you on the phone and talk to you. So it's pretty cool.
Man, you're gonna be the best driver they ever had. I'm just telling you that I'm a little partial. But
I just want to know if you ended up doing a thing like where, when they say Dale Jr.'s calling, you're like, one of my friends is pranking me, and you hang up the phone. I mean, or did you actually know it was Dale Jr. when you talked to him?
Yeah, no, I actually missed the call the first time when he left me a voicemail. So, I had to give him a call back. But yeah, when you listen to the voicemail, you're like, man, is this real life? It's pretty cool.
Hey, well, I'll just tell you, Bubba, when you reply to my text, I'm like, okay, is that really him? So the feeling's mutual. So
Rodney was pretty excited.
Yeah, I was like, look at this. So let's talk about the weekend. The couple of races, you win one of them. I know you wanted them both, but walk us through Five Flags Speedway this weekend.
Yeah, it really went well for us. We would like to win the first one, but just we had really two good fast race cars, and just unfortunate deal. We had a shock failure on the first car that wouldn't allow us to finish. So, but we had a shot to win it. I felt like just needed to make it toward the end there, and that's what you got to do to win those races. So, and then the second car, the Pro Late model, it's really been good. That car has won a lot of money the last couple of years, and it's been really good for us. So,
absolutely.
It's fun, being able to pick up a victory there, getting ready for the Snowball Derby.
No doubt.
So, Bubba, part of the article that Matt Weaver wrote, he described you as the face of super late model racing. Is that added pressure for you, or are you like the people's champion? I mean, does that add any more pressure when a lot of people feel you're the face of the section of the sport?
Yeah, I don't know. I just go out and I just love racing, and I'm very fortunate to be able to travel and do what I do and do it, with my family and be successful. I have a great group of people that allow me to do this, and sponsors and my guys that work on the car and help me. So I'm very fortunate. I feel like, the only reason I have a lot of spotlight, I feel like on me, is because I just race all the time. Be at the racetrack. And if you race long enough and you race a lot, you're going to win. So, we just try to go out there and do the best we can each and every week. And, I've surrounded myself with great people over the years that allowed me to be able to win races. And
What'd you think of that format change where you go 75 lap main event at Five Flags and the heat races? Oh, that's old school racing right there.
exactly, that's to me is what racing's all about. It's having to race your way in, race for your starting spot. When I grew up racing, we qualified and then we run heat races. And races are short, and I think it made it exciting for the fans. It made the racing more exciting to where drivers couldn't ride around until the end of the race. Made them work for it, and that's what the fans want. They're there to see some exciting racing, for us to put on a show for them. And I think we did that in the heat races in the feature. So hopefully, that's something that a lot of other promoters look into, and even the racers liked it. So I think it's a great opportunity to make for some great racing. So hopefully we can do it in the future.
Absolutely.
All right, so before we get into Martinsville, I want to back up a little bit and talk about your big win in Canada a couple of months ago. Is it any different up there at all? I mean, it just seems like they have some diehard racers and some diehard, racing fans up there, but I don't know if Canada gets the love that it needs for its love of motorsports.
Man, I tell you what, one thing's different. It's a money exchange, that's for sure.
yeah, that was 75,000 Canadian dollars, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they took a little bit away from us. But yeah, the fans up there are awesome. There is, really the racing up there reminds me of some of the old school racing that we just talked about. The technology is not as advanced up there, or it hasn't made it up that way as quickly. I think it's developing. The more this race gets, the bigger the race gets, the faster that technology is going to move up there. So yeah, it's there's some diehard race fans, some cool racers, awesome fans, and it's a cool place to race. It's a great place. Jacasa is an awesome facility. So if anyone's looking bucket list race, that's it for sure.
So I was kind of looking, as Bubba Pollard joins us here on the Revved Up Sports Show hotline on your Monday, I was kind of looking here. You've accumulated a pretty nice, and again, I know it costs a lot of money to do this, but, man, you guys sneak up on those big money races, and, hell, you go there to win because, hell, you win them all.
Yeah, we've had some good success over the last couple of years running these bigger races. It all started when I went to California, I felt like, for us, and it just, everything clicked. It turned around. And we just started, going to these bigger events and clicking off some wins. We do better at places we've never seen or never shown or never even seen before, and just show up and race. I think you don't know what to expect, so you don't overthink it. And I think we do better in that situation. So, it's been fun for us to be able to travel like this and go and do and to win those big races, you got to be there, and it's tough, but we try to go to as many of them as we can, throughout the year. And, I feel like our team is capable of winning, anywhere we go all over the country. I feel like we've been together for a while, and, just a good group of guys, that we all have fun with. and it's fun to be able to go and see those different racetracks and go to places we've never seen. And I get to take my family and go to Niagara Falls and go to Bakersfield.
Nice.
And do all those things. So it's been good for us.
So how was Lucas Oil Raceway? So another one there. You kind of swoop in. Hadn't been there before, but you in the Speed 51 Select there. Talk about that track.
Yeah, man, I tell you what, I really didn't know what to expect going to Lucas, and it's not a place that I've never been before. It's not a place that I'm accustomed to, because there's not a track around like it. The only place that's really similar was old Birmingham in Alabama. Back when I was younger, that's really the only place that's similar. So I didn't know how it was going to race or what to expect again. So, man, that was probably one of the coolest races I've run and won all year. It's not the biggest money paying event, but as for me, it's having fun and the way we raced and having a good race car. It was probably the most fun I've had in a race car driving all year. So looking forward to hopefully going back there sometime in the future.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we'll talk about Martinsville here. So you've talked before about the difference between a super late model and a pro late model. In terms of like driving style and stuff for you, is there a big difference between your pro late model and one of these late model stock cars?
There's not, as far as driving. You know, all race cars besides dirt have to do the same thing. They have to turn left and they have to be able to drive off and really you know, looking. There's a lot of different, you know, parts on a race car. But the late model stock and the super late model straight rails we're used to are a lot different. So, the front end geometry is a lot different. Truck arms, things like that, a lot heavier. The brakes are not as good as what we're used to or accustomed to. You got the steering box. So there's a lot of things that are different that feel a little different that you got to get used to. But as far as, you know, every one of them's got to turn left and drive off. So that's what you got to get to, and whoever does that the longest is going to win the race. But, you know, you got that feel in all race cars, I feel like. Even when I've driven the dirt car over here at home, it's still the same feel.
Yeah. So with this year that you've had, Bubba, I mean, because like we talked about, I mean, oh, man, what a run. I mean, what a run. You're winning every time you show up. Snowballs in the future. I mean, that was the tune-up here was this past weekend. Do you think this is the year? It's going to happen. I think it is. What are you guys thinking?
Now, I'm hoping every year's a year, but
absolutely.
It don't seem to work out that way. I feel like we're capable of winning it. I think definitely changing the pit stops is going to help us to control cautions, to make some adjustments throughout the race. It puts everybody on a little even, leveler playing field that a lot of these big teams make up on pit road. So It's going to be fun. I'm interested to see how the race is going to play out. The best car at the end of the Snowball Derby this year is going to win the race. I don't think that's been the case in the past years, but the best car is going to win the Snowball Derby this year. So I'm really looking forward to it. I think we got a good shot. We just got to go in and treat it like another race. We say that every year, but it's hard to do, but we're going to try our best.
For sure.
So the question that I have is a little different for you, and one of the things, like we've been talking about you just dominating super late model racing, and the question I have for you, and it's probably an ongoing moving target, in your mind, was it harder for you to get to where you are now, you know, being the dominant force when you show up at the racetrack, or is the harder part being able to stay there?
It's a little bit of both. I think you know, there's years where we've really struggled, and man, the confidence just wasn't there. But I think confidence in racing goes a long way. It's definitely hard to get there. We've worked hard for years and years, and I've been doing this for 15 years, and I feel like you learn a lot. You learn a lot with driving. You learn a lot being. I think a key to winning races is being organized.
Yeah.
And I think it's taken me a lot of years to get to that point. I feel like the last 10 years has probably been the best racing years of my career. I've just matured a lot as a driver and as a person, have a family and things like that. Makes you think about things different. So it's tough getting to this point but it's also tough. But stay in there because a lot of people expect you to run good. They expect you to win. They don't expect they expect a lot out of you. So the pressure's on, and the fans come to the racetrack to see you run good, put on a show, and stay up front. So it's both. It's I don't think I couldn't pick, that's for sure. But it's been fun getting to this point.
And speak to that, Bubba, because one thing that you talked about it the last time when you were on here, for you, this is fun. I mean, you talk about, obviously the success helps, but your family's a part of it. I mean, your sister, is so a big part of the team. And, I mean, you hear folks say, Bubba likes to get out there, he likes to race. When he's done, he wants to have a cold beer and enjoy it. How important is that to have your people around you and to just keep this enjoyable? Because this crap gets old really fast if you let it get to you.
It does, and you got to have fun. That's the number one key to all this is your guys. You got to keep your guys having fun, excited to be at the racetrack. You know when to be serious. You know when to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
And my guys, when that race cars, we do some of our best thinking when about the car and making decisions when we're having a beer and sitting around watching TV or at the motorhome or something like that. So we do a lot of our decision making over a drink. So it's good to have your guys, as excited to go to the racetrack as you are. Yeah. And I've made a lot of friends throughout the years going to these racetracks and meeting new people and having a family there with you. And there's some great people at the racetrack, and hopefully we.
Oh, we lost him there for a second.
Oh,
dial him back up here. He's talking away. Let's try it again. All right.
First we leave him on hold, and
we'll just nope. Lost you. That's all right. Lost you for a second, but totally right. I mean, the fun keeps it fun and enjoyable.
He must have his beer must have popped his phone. That's what that is. We do great show prep when we've been drinking beer too, Bubba.
Yeah, that's right.
So in terms of this next little bit, right? So is the sky going to be the limit? I mean, has there been any discussion about anything else junior motorsports related after this upcoming 300 lapper at Martinsville?
Say that one more again. Say that one more time.
So in terms of the upcoming race at Martinsville with Junior Motorsports, has anything been discussed beyond that race other than just go and see what you can do with it?
Not really. We're just taking it race by race, one race at a time. I think there's some opportunities there to possibly run the late model stock into the future at the Myrtle Beach 400 and possibly next year. Just kind of have to see how it happens and what takes place, but as long as we can perform, I think there's some opportunities there. You never know. Sponsors might come along or things like that. So we'll see. It'll be fun. Hopefully we can do some more racing with them.
Hate to even bring this up, Bubba, but I have to. I mean, the Throwback 276. I mean, that's a good race. I mean, I love the throwback paint schemes and the Cars Tour with everything they do. But I think that's an instance where folks learned it, and even more people jumped on the bandwagon where it's like, don't mess with Bubba. I mean, don't mess with Bubba.
Well, it's funny. It's been an ongoing thing for a while. A lot of people don't know the story or the story behind it. But I race people how I want to be raced, and I race people how they race me. And we couldn't come to an agreement there of how things should be done.
Yep.
And you can only take so much. And there's certain guys out there that we race with that you can go up and talk to them and say, hey, you know what? It's my fault. What we do this week? It's going to happen when you race long enough. Mm-hmm. We've been racing 20 years, and you're going to have run-ins with people. There's some people you can handle it with that handle it, without being physical, and then there's some people you can't. It's just part of racing, and it's going to happen, and it's possibly going to happen again. You never know. So,
you never know.
I've always been taught, we're never never bully anybody. Never get on the internet and talk that stuff. But when you're getting taunted and you got to stand up for yourself. And I'm all about standing up. I'm going to teach my girls to stand up for themselves. And if it happens again, we'll stand up again. So hopefully don't have to, but if it does, it's all part of it.
Got to do
yeah,
it.
I mean, I'm not speaking for Rodney, but there's been a couple of times when I just needed to get my ass kicked to get me learned a life lesson there.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's what it takes is to have somebody come whoop your ass, and then it kind of makes things better.
So Bubba,
there's a lot. If you want to know the truth, there's a lot of ass whooping that needs to be going on in this world right now.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Absolutely. So I think Martinsville. So even cooler. We'll cut you loose here in just a second. I think Martinsville owes you one. I think last year you should have won that one. So got to be even more super exciting with the announcement today that you'll be in that JRM car.
Yeah, we're excited. You know, we were so close last year. I feel like we had a great team last year. We were with Fathead and Jamie Elton, and we were really looking forward to going back this year. It's a bucket list race.
Yep.
There's a lot of great race car drivers that's won that race, Lee Pulley and my stock guys, and you know, hopefully one day we can put our name on that list. But it'd be cool to bring a clock home, and you know, what better way to do it than with Junior Motorsports? So it'd be cool.
Absolutely, it sure would. Last question: how's that new baby? I know you were on Baby Watch there, one of the races over at Five Flags. Everything good with Aaron and the baby and so forth?
Yeah, the baby's good. Family's good. My oldest one is a handful. Goodness gracious, she's turned those terrible threes they've been talking about. So I got me a good dose of it right now.
Nice.
So, but yeah, they're all good, and everything's going well. They've come to the race a couple of times. She hasn't been around to get her picture made yet, so hopefully we can do that here in the next couple of weeks. This weekend, man, we got an exciting week this week.
That's right.
Everyone get on Speed 51, check it out. We'll be in Vermont for the Milk Bowl. If we win that race, it'll be we get to kiss a cow. So that's on the bucket list of races we're trying to win. So that'll be cool.
Absolutely, man. We look forward to it. We will definitely follow along. And like we said, like I told you, man, you got a huge fan base down here, and we appreciate you jumping on here and keeping our folks up to date, and especially today. I mean, really an honor to have you on with everything that went down today.
Well, I appreciate it anytime, guys, and hopefully we can go win some more races and be on here in the future.
Absolutely.
All right, look forward to it. Definitely going to have a beer at the Derby, too.
Yeah, come find you at the Derby for sure.
For sure. Sounds good.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate it. Keep kicking ass, buddy.
Thank you.
You bet. Bubba Pollard. Ain't no better.
That's right.
Ain't no better. I want to be like Bubba Pollard.
What,
in lots of ways.
Have a 3-year-old running around here?
No. Well, I kind of do. She's 4.
That's true.
She runs the house. Thanks to Bubba Pollard for that. Man, what a day. He'll be racing for Junior Motorsports coming up October 4th and 5th at Martinsville. The Valley Star Credit Union 300.
I'm interested in this.
Nice.
With the Milk Bowl.
Yeah.
He'd probably never been more excited to try to kiss a heifer.
Going to have to be doing some racing over in Houston, be having to check in on 51 and see what's going on. That's right, we said that. All right, more coming up. Stick around. We're going to talk to Gina in just a little bit. Talk some Houston racing. Revved Up Sports Show on your Monday.
The Veterans Administration says there are over 175,000 veterans who could benefit from a service dog. There are many organizations to train and provide them, but finding suitable dogs is one of their biggest challenges. And that's where Hero Labradors comes in. Here's Hero Labradors founder and CEO, Chuck Ziegenfuss.
What we do is we breed Labrador Retrievers, the puppies that have the aptitude to become service dogs. They are then donated to training organizations across the country that agree to train the dogs and donate them to wounded warriors, first responders, disabled veterans, or their family members that would benefit from a service dog.
While these dogs are given to training organizations free of charge, raising them is very costly, and Hero Labradors could use your help. Make your tax-deductible donation and read Chuck's story and the full story of Hero Labradors at HeroLabradors.org. That's HeroLabradors.org. Donate today. Hero Labradors. Service dogs for those who served.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school, so I'm trying to break that barrier. My daughter Brooklyn was also a motivation for me to go back to school. Every day after work, went straight to school, and it paid off.
At age 26, Kareem finished his high school diploma.
I could not have done it alone. I see the future is really bright for me.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
The Horn is talking fantasy sports with the Wagner Wire. Sunday mornings from 10 to noon. Adam Wagner gives you heroes and zeros at 10:45. Who do you love at 11:10? Just the tip at 11:45. And the best starts and sits from all of your fantasy sports teams. The Wagner Wire, Sundays from 10 to noon on The Horn. Sponsored by Audiovisual Consultations.
Austin 360 Marketing is your one-stop site for all your business marketing needs. With our wide variety of products and services, we have what you need to bring awareness and exposure to your business. We believe marketing should be fun and rewarding for both your business and your customers. We can find the right niche for any business looking to impact their marketing campaign. Whether it be marketing material, online marketing, or direct marketing, we can deliver on any budget. Contact us today for your acrylic signs, banners, window and vehicle vinyl, and more. We are Austin 360 Marketing, 512-913-7693. Find us on the web at austin360marketing.com or email Gino Simmental at geno@a360m.com. Austin 360 Marketing. We'll make you look good.
At Austin Pets Alive, the mission is to promote and provide the resources, education, and programs needed to eliminate the killing of companion animals. That means more happy pets joining more happy families every single day. In fact, Austin Pets Alive has saved more than 25,000 dogs and cats since 2008, and you can help. Adopt a new family member, help out with a donation, or roll up your sleeves and volunteer. If you have love, time, or money to spare, and we all have at least one of those, you are needed. Visit austinpetsalive.com to get started. Austin Pets Alive, helping people help pets.
We're going to be eastbound.
That's right.
Coming up.
Now, we're not going to go far east as Bubba and them did last weekend in Pensacola.
Nope.
But we are going to go load up eastbound and down.
Going to North Lake Houston
That's
Parkway.
right. At the Palace of Power, a favorite place of us. Now joined by the head lady in charge over there.
La Chingona is how we say it in
That's
Mexican.
La Chingona?
That's how we say it in Mexican, Gina.
Oh. I thought it was La
Say it
Patrona.
again.
La Chingona. And that's really not a bad, I mean, that's not a bad word. I mean,
I thought it was La Patrona Grande.
well, that's the technical way, but
Okay.
we slang Mexicans say it La Chingona.
Actually, I like that.
It's good. It's good.
We
And
should
it's
I kind of like that too.
We're going to get you a nameplate. We'll put it on your shirt at race day.
That'd be awesome. On the back of her shirt.
Yeah. Go walking through Houston with that on. Boy, I'll tell you, yeah, that would have worked.
She could be
really
popular
well.
in every neighborhood over there.
Hell, they have you running for mayor. You get to take Sylvester's job here for crying out loud.
Oh no, thank you. It's hard enough doing the racetrack stuff. I definitely wouldn't want to work for the city.
Yeah, I bet your job is worse than that. So, but first of all, I know you were out and about. So, family, everybody good? Man, what a mess down there again, or up there.
I'm telling you, it was bad. I flew out of town, and it was when I got back. There's a lot of people that we knew were affected lightly, flooding. But other than that, I reached out to some racers and racing families, and everyone seems, unscathed. There was a few, with light flooding, but
yeah,
it's just you just one of those things you don't know anymore.
And that one snuck up. I mean, I saw some little disturbance out there, and then when they started talking about 41 inches of rain, I'm like, my goodness, that's not just something minor.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the media comes on really, really strong, and the first day there wasn't a lot of rain. It was less than what was expected, so I think people kind of blew them off.
Mm-hmm.
And then come Thursday, the bottom fell out and caught people off guard, and that's when people were back at work and doing their normal thing and got flooded and trapped in town.
Good. Yeah, that's not good. Anyway.
All right, so we'll move past the
Sad.
flooding stuff, the sad part. So this is now going to be your third race that you put on there at the Palace of Power down at HMP. Double-parted question.
That's right.
Has it gotten easier for you? And is there anything else you still need from all of us fine racing supporters?
No, that's a really hard question for me to answer. We figured things out. We figured out we could run 7 classes in 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
You know, we did it. We've got that. So now we can kind of expand on plugging things in for the fans and do a little bit more playing with the, the race day scheduling, things like that. That part was a big question mark for me and Bo and people going in of what we could make happen, because basing it on previous stuff, we weren't sure. And so we have checked off some things that we kind of think, okay, we've got this kind of figured out, and it allows us to focus on other things we need to tackle. Still for the rest of this year, I'm still looking for sponsors. I've got a layout of next year. I don't have a schedule, but I'm still looking at, wanting to do the 10 to 12 races.
Mm-hmm.
But this year, selling signs. I've got lots of signs still available. We can put on the track. We've got the packages for that, and other things. It's coming together. I'll say that. It's coming together. It's still super stressful. Today was really stressful for me with the weather.
Yeah.
I had drivers reaching out, wanting me to make a call early. And then I've got other people that are freaking out if I make a call early on a rain out, looking at numbers, looking at 6 different weather websites. We've got anywhere from 30% to 60%, and it's expanding now to include Sunday, and it didn't before. So, oh my goodness, it just stresses me out.
Yeah.
That's an underrated stress that people have unless you've had to make that call, people have no idea how stressful that is. Because either way,
do you know how many times I woke up 3 times from 3 a.m. till 6 when I finally got up, looking at the weather.
Yeah.
Grabbing my phone, looking at the weather.
and folks don't understand, because I know many times there at Kyle, if we had to cancel something, we'd call it. And at race time at 6:30, nothing was happening. But hell, 8 o'clock, that's when everything's starting to happen. I mean, you're getting a downpour, and it is so hard because you just never know with the weather prognosticators if it's going to be right or not.
Right. The thing about it, how we do it, we're leasing the track. Where we're supposed to make money when we do get profitable is at the gate. Well, if it's a 60% chance of rain, and let's say we do get to race, but in the weather right now in Houston, you're going to get afternoon, early evening showers. It's consistent. It is going to be when you have this percentage in the forecast.
It's on
Someone's
the coast.
going to get rain.
Right.
On some part of Houston and surrounding, they're going to get rain. What does that impact? Doesn't impact the racing, because we're going to get that racing in. It impacts the people coming in the gate. If we owned the racetrack, we could make that up, some in the concessions, but that's not the formula that we have here. So it is something that is a very hard call for me to make, because as a racer, I would want to race. If I had a chance to race, I'd want to race. But from a business standpoint and as a promoter, I have to look at the longevity of racing as a whole. How is it going to impact everything moving forward? Because immediately, let's say we race and we get rained out, there's instantly another race, October 19th. They're pretty back to back now, the next 3.
Yeah.
So just a lot of different factors. Like I said, a few drivers called me and wanted to know what was going on, and it's completely divided. So
yeah, and that's what sucks, because I've always said, there's nothing that stings worse than getting there, then you get rained out.
Right.
So, but at the same time, I know when you call it and nothing happens. But again, this is all out of our hands. This is all out of our hands. But
it is. It's a real hard call. The areas of Houston that were impacted, or the surrounding areas, are the places that were around the track.
Yep.
You had a lot of flooding in Conroe, a flooding in Kingwood, you know, and then of course east, you know, there. So that's also something to consider as well. That's going to impact our numbers because we do pull from those areas quite a bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
So on the positive side, there has to be something positive that's happened in like
After
the
all
last
that.
little bit, right? Like we're trying to stay positive here, not negative.
Yeah, there's a bunch of positive. I can't talk about a lot of it, but I'm super excited about some things that are working. There is a rumor I heard. Now, I haven't confirmed it with one of the brothers that we have two brothers that are going to be competing against each other on the at the October 19th race.
Heard that one too.
Have y'all heard that?
I did. Yep. That would be fun.
Yep.
That would be fun. That
is going to be fun. Now I heard JC is driving Raymond's car, modified, and that Michael has found a ride, and I don't know who it's with, but it was texted me by a couple people that he will be racing. So they will be racing each other, and so I guess let the smack talking commence.
Well,
you know?
it's nice to know somebody actually listens to this damn little shit show
That's,
that we
that's
have going
right.
on
That's
because,
right.
Yeah.
Boy, did you light a fire up under their butts? Or JC might have done it by talking smack about Michael. I don't know.
and thank you for the text today. That we really did hit a home run today. That was super cool. The guest before you, and luckily that was all yesterday. He never made mention that
Didn't even mention it yesterday.
That could happen. So how cool would it be? If couple years down the road, if we could get Bubba and Casey Roderick and these guys out there, wouldn't that be like the culmination of just a lot of hard work to get something like that happening?
I would sit down at the top somewhere by myself and just watch if that could happen, because that would be my ultimate thing, is to watch some pro late models there racing again, or supers, whatever it may be. I would prefer pros just because I'm partial to pro late models.
Sure. But
just to have them back and look at them, I think I'd take that race in. That's for sure.
Yeah, that'd be a blast.
So in terms of how everything's going over at Houston, the way that I think some people still underplay the amount of work that it happens to make these races go. Has the reaction to the racers, minus this whole will it rain, won't it rain, it seems like that momentum's still there, and it's still going to take that and much more to think about even 2020, right?
Definitely. I can tell you the response from the drivers is it's great. I mean, they're very, very positive. They understand things when they ask me something, and I might not be able to give them the answer that they want to hear just yet, but I say I'm working on it, or, I take into consideration their input. They're so positive. So far, everything has been, a positive, effect moving forward. I try to be as transparent as I possibly can, and try to be as real about what I have, what is in front of us and what we're looking at, and how, if I do this, it'll impact something else. And I think that's been well received.
Yeah, and I have to tell you, the one thing that I'm so impressed with you, Gina, as Gina Schild-Knowles joins us coming up at Texas Short Track Racing Series, Houston Motorsports Park this weekend, Saturday night, race night. You and I know folks that operate, and again, a lot of this is you've got a lot of skin in the game, but you really don't have any issue with delegating. And that's where I see failure, have seen failure in the past, is folks want to be in total control, but you delegate really well with this stuff.
It's that was what I was looking for before. There's so much that I have not done. There's so much that I don't have experience with, that I rely on people. I rely on Bo. He does all the back stuff. He is the one running around taking care of all the other stuff. My value, I feel, as a promoter, is to be able to observe the show and look at how we're going to change it. How can I plug things in? Because Absolutely. I'm constantly looking for sponsor money or other money to bring into the show, to increase the purse, to try to get to profitability. And to do that, I have to evaluate the racing as a complete show. I have to look at what can we change, where do we have time, and that's what I'm focused on learning. So if I run around like a chicken with my head cut off, I really can't focus. And that is what I did that first race. And I told myself, I am not going to do that again, even though it's stressful. And even though you still run around, I did force myself to talk and visit and watch and figure out, okay, here's what we can change. Here's what we can trim. Here's what we can add, to try to figure out ways to bring in more money.
Yeah. The hard part is, though, because I watched you, the last race in particular, there's a lot of people that want your time. And that's where it's so, and you were so genuine. If you don't have time, you say, I can't or whatever. And that speaks volumes. And that's what a promoter does, because you're promoting the show.
Right. Now, I had a little help from Marianne. Marianne gave me some advice on that, and I use it. And I won't repeat it because it might be privileged information, and I don't want to give out all hers. But I definitely use that advice. So if she's listening, she knows what she told me when people want your time, and that's what I use. I value people's input. I have been a racer as far as a mom of a racer, daughter, all of it, and I have experienced the same struggles. And honestly, on this side, the struggles are just as real. It's the same, but it's just different things. Mm-hmm. And it's, I don't know, it takes a team, and I feel like who we have in place that helps me, kind of take things in a little bit better and try to go talk to people, look for the money, look for the sponsors, plug people in and do it right. I don't want to go and hit on all the people who are racing for money. I want to try to branch out and bring other people in. We did an event at the museum, the Children's Museum of Houston. Phillips 66 is a big sponsor of something where, the Race into Reading program. And I'm trying to develop those relationships too. Mm-hmm. There's so much. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. I'd sound like a psycho and I could ramble on. But right. It's just really big. So far, it's positive, and hopefully we can keep that momentum.
That's right.
Yeah. See, a lot of people don't know it takes forever to build those relationships. All it takes is one crazy incident to lose it in a heartbeat, but it takes a long time to get some of that stuff going. In terms of working with that, have you? Is there an area that maybe somebody listening to the show might have an insight into a certain industry that you're looking for, or right now is it just wide open? If somebody wants to partner with you, you're kind of like us. You can make an advertising plan that works for them on a budget that works for them too, right?
That's exactly right. There's so many, I consider racing a media buy. There is so many opportunities to plug things in and work together. There's, product sponsors. There's barter trading time. I would love to, get Gallery Furniture on board and him share a little bit of his TV advertising with me, There's a lot of things I'm open to. Now, I do have packages put together, things that I'm selling. I'd be happy to email them out to drivers if drivers think that they have a company that's interested. I'm open to it. And let me tell you, if they give me a lead and I close it, I will either put, a commission on the class of their choice or write them a commission check.
See that
doesn't happen in that doesn't happen in local racing. That happens in big racing.
That's a promoter right there. That's what it is. That's the business side, and that's what this is. So let's talk about Saturday. What do we have in store? Man, we got a great card of racing out there, and I really think from what I hear, and again, this weather thing is kind of the wild card, but I think we see the car count increasing once again.
I do. We're definitely trending up. Our big three, the mods and the trucks, the outlaws too. They're growing. Mm-hmm. It's pretty exciting that they're growing. And I hear of others that just still haven't made it out because they're still putting them together. Yeah. And I love that. I definitely love that. We're still looking at adding a media day / practice day. We just haven't set it. I want to invite the media to the track, but I have to have the track in a certain condition. So sure. I'm kind of stuck in a catch-22 of spending more money to get it there, or do I wait and get the money and then do it? It's that, I guess, the egg thing, the chicken and the egg.
Yeah, exactly.
So we got a couple of questions that have been popping up with some of the more info still to come on maybe doing the dirt crossover before the year's over.
Yes, I don't know if we'll be able to do it this year, but I would like to announce it. I've been talking to people about that as well. But we're still looking at it and thinking of options. I've presented it to a couple of companies that would be sponsors of it, but I have not pursued it. And when I say presented it, I had a set of rules that was made, and that's what I'm using to sell them.
Mm-hmm. Very good ones.
Yeah.
I'd like to say.
We can't confirm or deny. We might have seen those. I'm just
saying. But I have to tell you, the thing is with this lady that we're talking to here with Gina, I mean, there are times where some of her days, she'll text me and I'm like, oh my goodness, we got to keep her involved. We got to keep her. But no, you've just done a great job, and it's a totally different feel out there. I mean, it's a very fan friendly. I think the show is very fan-friendly. I talked to a lot of folks out there that, I mean, it may be their first time or their first time back. So you seem to be capturing the right audience, the casual race fan, and that's what really builds everything back up again.
Yeah, I think so, too. It's more looking at, like I said, evaluating things where you can plug it in and make it a family affair. Believe me, when I thought about like the face painter, I get her there and she does free face painting. I remember thinking 10 years ago, I would have been like, a face painter? Who would bring a face painter to the racetrack?
Yeah.
Yeah. And now I do see, I mean, if you're there and I'll go over there and I'll look at the kids and watch them, and it's really cool. There's families of racers every race. I see them over there, and they come and get their face paint. I like that, There's other little things I'm looking at plugging in, but we've got a bunch of ideas and a lot less money to implement them.
Of course.
We're getting there.
Yeah. Well,
we're getting there.
I got to tell you, the last race, with the checkered flags and all that, I really didn't think much about it. But then at the very beginning of the night, I asked the crowd, I said, be sure and use your checkered flags tonight. And they did. I mean, it was really nice seeing that black and white across the stands right there. So it's things like that'll bring them back, stuff like that.
Right.
Even if the
Definitely.
kid
I like that. We're doing that again.
Even if the kid just wants to come back to have a face paint.
Hell, it was adults waving the flag.
They'll still come back.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Definitely. This race, we're looking at implementing what we tried to last time, where the winner gets the checker flag and takes a victory lap, and then they get interviewed down in the center.
Nice.
Don Armstrong's going to be interviewing this next race down in the center, interviewing the drivers, working with you, Rodney, on to execute that. But I'm excited about doing that, like they used to.
Right. Yeah, and I know when I first started doing that in Kyle, at first people were like, oh, that's a waste of time. But then I didn't do it, and it was like, what about the winner interview? So it's funny the way it all comes full circle. But I think it'll be a great night. And again, I guess so what I even hate to ask, but is like Thursday a time where this whole weather thing there would be a decision, or what? I mean, I don't even want to think about that, to be honest with you. But just for folks that maybe listening or watching.
If all the sites click 50 to 60%, that'll be the day that we'll probably make the call. But if not, I don't know. I really have to think about it. Honestly, I'm still stressing over it right now.
Sure. Well, the worst thing is we all show up and something bad happens. We all end up at the holiday.
Yeah.
That's,
I mean, and it
doesn't help you though.
We're always here to help. If you need that extra set of eyes to look at something where you're, trying to figure something out. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
And plus, see, I'll be there, so get a chance to.
Well, we just need to, it just needs to be the least percentage of rain possible.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing is, it's so early in the week. You never know that thing. It could be a very decisive decision, or it could make it not even a decision. So the weather's weird, but looking forward to just a great event. And like I said, my friend, you have just done a phenomenal job, and your attitude. I mean, you're upbeat. You're going. I know there's moments, and you and Bo both. Just thank you for what you're doing, because this is awesome.
Well, thank you. And honestly, it's not just me or Bo. We have a great team. The people, the drivers are great. It's a whole effort. It's an effort of people that, want to race. That's what it is.
Yeah, it really is. Looking forward to it. Thanks for the time, and we're putting bugs in people's ears. We'll continue to promote during anything you want to push out. Send it to us. We'll get it on the socials and all that. And let's pack the stands if at all possible again on Saturday night.
All right, we'll do. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you,
All righty.
Gina.
See you
Appreciate
Saturday.
it. See you Saturday.
All right, see you Saturday.
Take care. Gina Schild-Knowles, the lady that.
Poor thing. She really is stressing about that weather thing.
Well, I can totally understand because you just
we've been
never
there.
know.
Literally. I mean, unless you have been there to try to make that decision. I mean, it's not an easy decision.
Yeah.
You had to do it in Kyle. Back in the day, I had to try to figure out with Dickerson to do something in San Antonio.
You just
and then when
never
you run
know.
a series, it's not any better because, you guys want to get there to race, but they come from far away.
And it makes it even harder right now because the budget is obviously much tighter because it's a startup. So to get that figured out, and then you have to just so many things to figure out, like we were saying there. If you call it and it doesn't rain, then everybody's going to be pissed off. If you get them there and it rains and you have to call it, they're going to be pissed off. I don't really think that if you have the race, it rains, and you attempt to dry it, because I've been through that also, that's still not going to be the most accommodating. So there's just so much. And the front gate, ultimately, like she said, the front gate is what suffers.
Yeah.
And that if you're counting on that to be your revenue generator, that's tough, man. That's tough. It's there are times where you have to look at the big picture. It's like, is it better to call something rather than to try to have it and have a complete loss? I mean, it's tough.
We've seen it before.
It's tough. So anyway, we'll see. Damn depressions. And there's a lot of stuff out there too, man.
I know a lot more too.
A lot of them, and they just seem to be popping up. And of course, like she mentioned right there, and I guess some of the race teams are figuring out that ground is saturated already. So
the good news is I guess they have to worry about the parking lot.
Yeah,
the pits are paved, but parking could be an issue. That would be, I think, in the past over at H&P with the time that I spent over there, the parking lot becomes the factor. Right?
Yeah.
You got a paved infield. You've got paved pits. Obviously, it's an oval track that drains somewhat well when it's not inundated with 30 inches of rain at one time.
Right.
But the parking lot is where the issue becomes, because you can't get the cars stuck, because then everybody be pissed off. Why didn't they call it? I got stuck in the parking lot. Well,
and that's the folks that piss and moan about when Cotton Bowl has to rain out. I mean, all too often, it's the pits. I mean, with the pit setup, I've been stuck in those pits, and it's just so difficult to make that decision because there's so many parts and pieces and so much. There's money on the line. There's thousands and thousands of dollars on the line, and sponsorship with Gina here. I mean, there's a lot.
That's right.
When we say she has skin in the game, that's putting it mildly.
Mm-hmm. And we can't reveal all the secrets.
But I can tell you that she has some really big plans. But here's the whole thing. I mean, all these plans, all of these tracks. Yeah, everybody, you haven't heard of anybody not racing in 2019 other than Joe Spillman and those guys. And Joe's up for another fireside chat here at some point, he says. But, the whole thing, he's got to support these places. Season's winding down. There's lots of other things to do. There's a lot of football. There's all this stuff to do. High school football, college football, people don't want to go. The Texans are playing, whatever, the Cowboys. But got to support these places.
Mm-hmm.
Got to support them. And
because if you hadn't been out to H&P, you need to go, because, like you said, it is a total different atmosphere now.
It's a really good. We're trying to get out. I mean,
it's got that old school feel to it.
I ain't gonna lie, we're doing a lot of what happened in Kyle. I mean, it's pretty high energy. The show is fast. I mean, it runs like a dirt show. I mean, it's like boom, 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 boom. Unless there's yellows, obviously the yellows happen, but it runs quick, and that's what people want. I mean. They want it to happen fast, and the good thing is it looks like like we were talking there with her, more cars are expected, weather dependent. But I think to make some really good things happen in 2020, I mean really kick-ass things happen in 2020, because she's aligned herself with a lot of important people. Mm-hmm. But you got to make
still has to be some solid groundwork for 2020 to be there, right?
Not going to do it for fun.
Yeah, there's been a lot of positive movement, but still the needle for 2020 is moving.
Exactly.
It's like trying to throw a dart in the middle of a tornado. It's going to take a lot to get to it.
Yeah, exactly. So support the track, and I mean that's for all of them. I mean that's every track. I know Cotton Bowl is racing this weekend as well, so you got to get out there and you got to get to these tracks. I wasn't at Cotton Bowl this weekend, but I talked to the announcer out there, Aaron. And he said they were a little disappointed in car count and maybe fan count, whatever it was, and that's where it's so important for the diehard fans that want the place to succeed, that want it to be open. I mean, you gotta go. You gotta go.
Yeah.
And hell, be positive.
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah. Remember, in the words of King Bubba Pollard, this is still supposed to be fun.
That's right.
As aggravating and everything that it gets. I mean, it's got to be fun. You got to support these places. So, I don't know. But there is a lot of other stuff to do, though.
I know the only drawback to this weekend is that the Holiday Inn might just be detrimental to the ability for me to get back to watch the Roval on Sunday.
Doing a lot of construction over there right about now. There's a lot of stuff that's tore up in there. Actually, they're doing like inside. A lot of work in there, so if you have too many Bud Lights, you'll get confused walking in there.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you get turned the wrong way. I wound up on the wrong floor, for crying out loud, knocking on the wrong door because my key wouldn't work. But I was on the wrong floor. You know, it's funny when you insert the key for 427 into 527, how it won't open.
Uh-huh. You didn't pull a Greg Davidson, did you?
No.
Okay.
I can't go to jail. I'd get in jail these days for that stuff. But just a great conversation there with Bubba Pollard, and just love to listen to that dude talk, because that when we talk about Dale Jr. and all of these, we miss the Cale Yarbroughs and the Richard Pettys and all of this. That dude right there, when you want to talk about great American hero, modern day great American hero, it's that dude. That dude.
He's the grassroots. I mean, he's the king of the grassroots right now.
He is as down to earth as you're gonna find. That's like. So think about this. When you go to your local track and you go up, there's a hobby stock driver or iStock driver or whatever it is. You go up and you start bull crapping with them, and it's just a casual conversation.
The same way with Bubba.
Right. And this dude is like the most success. Look at his resume. If you don't know who he is.
Look, just look the last 2 years.
Yeah. And listen, I mean, Kyle Busch has said, this is Kyle Busch, for crying out loud, says, I wish that I could be Bubba Pollard. Dude's just a racer. Does it with his family, has a good time, and wins all the time.
And a lot, we say a lot or a good number of some of those super late model superstars are approachable.
Absolutely.
I mean, Augie's a great guy too. He'll sit down and have a conversation with you, and
yeah, they're just normal guys. They're racing. They're spending a tremendous amount of money on what they do, and a lot of them out of their pocket. Family-run things there, or they have businesses where Augie's talked about, and like JC was saying, I've got customers I'm racing against, and there's so many variables now with all of this. But I really think this is the season with everything that Bubba's accomplished. I mean, he's going to win that damn snowball. It would cap the season. That pit crew, the pit stop thing is going to be huge. That's going to be
those M-Gun, boy, those cut pit crews are fast, but man, I'm telling you, those guns were just blazing over there last night.
Absolutely. When you got to use that damn Craftsman gun from Lowe's, that evens things out.
Mm-hmm.
That evens things out. I'm not sure if that's what they're going to use or not. Hell, maybe they'll use one from Harbor Freight. I don't know.
There ain't a lot of stuff you can use from Harbor Freight on a super late model, I can tell you
that's
that.
going to last for a long time anyway. But, that's coming up. So just good stuff there. That's really good night of short track racing, talking to all these folks.
That's right, real race talk.
That's what you get right here. Like to mention, Bubba Pollard, just big news today. He was on this show tonight.
That's right,
on this show.
From a Dell Jr. announcement to the Revved Up Sports Show.
How about that? Good stuff. Hope you enjoyed that. All the archives at RevvedUpSportsShow.com and at HornFM.com. Get your ass out to a local short track this weekend. Find one near you. Find a high school football game, too. That's good community stuff. So if you're heading to Houston, keep your eye on the weather. Keep your eye on socials. All of that will be there. I think they'll do it in a good time frame for everybody. Hope to see you out there. For Bobby, I'm Rodney. Thanks to all of you. Remember, be nice to someone. You never know what they're going through. You're going to feel better as well afterwards. Have a great week. Keep your eye on the sky. Keep your eye on the road. Be safe. God bless you. We'll catch you next week.